Well, we have seen many e-bikes here on this channel, and I gotta tell you personally, I never seen anything like this EcoE, which is a 4,375 watt e-bike. In terms of the pricing, this thing is less than $1,500. That includes the shipment, the product cost, the taxes, delivered to your door is $1,475 to be exact. This one here comes with dual motors. They are about 2200 watts each. Also, it comes with a 60 volts, 32 amp hour battery. It comes with dual suspension. It has front headlight and rear tail light as well. Dual brakes. And it is a what I consider fully capable bike with the all-terrain tires. It has 26-inch by 4-inch tires. I did notice something very interesting is that this is claiming to be a 50 miles an hour e-bike and we are getting mechanical brakes. But yes, everything came safe and sound. No damages, no nothing. We can see the nice fat tires on here. We have adjustable suspension as well. And the frame, the welds do look pretty good. As I'm completing the assembly of this e-bike, when you're doing the front tire, there's like a washer that has a notch. That notch goes towards the bottom side. I was trying to make it go towards the top, and the manuals do not give a lot of information on that piece. So the notch goes towards the bottom where the opening is here on the actual fork. Okay, so you see that little opening? The notch is right in between. Well, we got the front tire installed on here, but then I noticed a little quality control issue. If you look at the motor, it is pointing the right way, which is towards the front. The arrow, the front of the bike is that way. But then the tire, check out the tire. It is pointing the wrong direction. The rear tire is actually correct, luckily for me. But also it is not seated correctly, so when you spin the tire, if you look at the top of the tire, it wobbles a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw that. It kind of like hops like that. That's because it is not seated correctly on the rim. So I'm gonna have to take out the tire and put it the correct way and seat it correctly as well. Now we got them pointing the correct direction and they are very well seated, as you can tell. In these boxes we have several little goodies. One of them is this little bag. It comes also with a bottle of water. Never seen this before. It comes with a little tool set. You get a little wrench. It looks like this is 18 and 16 on this side. Also, we get the mount for the bottle. On this side we have things like the headlight. Very neat. Check this out, we have even a lock. Wow, I mean the value here is just phenomenal, guys. I really can't wait to try this out because it just comes with way too much for the price. We get the pedals. The pedals, they fold weirdly. I don't see why they fold. The bike doesn't fold. Then we get the reflectors. We have some more brackets. I guess this is for, or looks like this is for the fender. One fender came broken, by the way. We then have the reflectors for the rims. I might not be hooking this up, but they're here. And of course we have the charger. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charger briefly. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't see anything on here that indicates the output. See input, but not the out. So we need to figure this out later, but so far we don't have a output for this particular charger, guys. The battery is removable on this e-bike, and we can once again here confirm the specifications of this battery: 32 amp hours, 60 volts. Here's another quality control issue that I found, and well, this is something you guys must be aware of and be ready for. They're not a big deal for me because I know how to do things and fix things. But if we turn the signal here, it comes with turn signals. If we turn it to the left, in which I just did, you can see how it is giving me the right turn signal. That's because this is upside down. We need to undo the two 10mm nuts on the rear, and we have to flip the tail light, and that will fix the issue. Also, upon starting it for the first time, I noticed that the throttle cable was disconnected from this area, so I had to undo this wrapping. And I was getting error code 22. I read the manuals and it was the throttle. Sure enough, it was disconnected. So these are things that you must check if you happen to have any errors like I did. Even though my fender came cracked, I was able to stitch it up by using zip ties. I drilled holes on the same spot from each side from the crack, and I did it 3 times, and I added a little bit of epoxy. This is not a permanent fix, it is just a temporary fix. I'm going to contact the company and tell them that it came cracked. That way they can send one over. Another quality control issue that I found with this e-bike was the fact that some of the screws were missing, like the ones holding this rear rack. 4 of them were completely missing. I searched everywhere and I couldn't find them. So luckily I had a few laying around and I was able to install the rear rack. Well, here we are with the EcoE 4375 watts e-bike, which came out to be a total scam.
Oh shit.
Yes, there's a story behind this e-bike, and it is the first one ever to be a scam. You see, typically when I get sponsored, I mention it on the video. This e-bike, I tried messaging the seller and asking for a sponsorship, in which they never responded. It's part of being a YouTuber, guys. It's part of what, you know, we do. It's part of how we make a little bit of money. And well, after not responding, this bike apparently had such amazing specifications, in which I decided to purchase it with my own money. It came out to be $1,099. They had another variant which was $1,199, so it was $100 more. That one had a true 5,000 watt dual motor system, so each one was about 2,500 watts. And it was actually promising between 50 and 55 miles, I think it is, per hour. This one was $100 cheaper, and it was promising between 45 and 50 miles an hour. Now there's a wrong turn in this. I ordered the bike, I received it. You guys just saw the unboxing. I was very excited and looking forward to it, until I started doing my own testings off camera, and it came out to be that this is a total scam. Now, as part of a solution, they gave me back $400, so I ended up paying like about $700, $800 for this e-bike with the taxes, in which, for what it is, that's not a bad price at all. So that's why I decided to negotiate to that. I opened a return via Amazon, and they were willing to accept the return, but then as part of the deal, they said, look, how about we give you $400 back and you keep the bike? I said, you know what, let's do that. And I didn't feel like disassembling everything and putting it back in the box, in which I kept for that reason. So, as you guys know, probably from the unboxing here, I don't think I cut anything in which I said. This was supposed to be a 60 volts, 32 amp hour battery, which is amazing for the price, especially at $10.99. And also, it was claiming to have a maximum speed of 45 and 50 miles an hour. Well, all of that was just not true, guys. In reality, what we end up getting was a standard 48 volts e-bike with a maximum voltage after being completely charged of about 55 volts. I did read the voltage on the battery, and that's what it gave me after a full charge. And what I can't confirm yet are the amp hours, since I haven't really done a long range test. Right now we have about 0.8 miles in this e-bike, and I don't know how these people thought that they were going to get away with this. And it happens to show, guys, that when something is too good to be true, it's because it is. And that's exactly what we got here. This e-bike, at first I said, well, it's kind of weird that it has mechanical brakes for a 60-volt dual motor system at 50 miles an hour. That's actually dangerous. You know, at first I was a little bit skeptical. And yeah, I mean, my skepticism was correct, because I have done many e-bike reviews. You know, at least for me, it wasn't going to be easy for them to catch me on this lie, because I have tested many e-bikes. And this is the GPS speedometer. I took it out just so that you can maybe compare it here with the display. Just look at right now how the bike is telling me I'm doing 20, but here it says I'm doing 16. And it goes on as you continue trying to do the maximum speed test. So right here, we're on pedal assist number 5. And this is max throttle. And it maxes out at about 32. So right here, we're doing 30. 32, there we go. And it doesn't go beyond that. So that shows right there that they lied. I mean, trust me guys, a 45 miles an hour e-bike would take off way faster. When I had the Baolugi, that was an excellent bike. That was actually better than this one because it had dual batteries and the acceleration was absolutely incredible. Or to what some people refer as torque, it was unbelievable. This one is not even close. I want to do a range test. We're gonna go to my local park, which is the EcoE Park. And I just want to test and see if this is truly a 32 amp hour, at least 48 volts. I mean, it could be that maybe they made a quote unquote mistake and lied about the voltage, but maybe the amp hours are correct. What I can tell you is that I just unplugged this e-bike about maybe 15 minutes ago, and I only traveled about 2 miles, and we are already missing a bar out of the 5 bars. So that's a big red flag. I might have to call my wife later because I might not be able to make it back. So not only did they lie about the voltage, I am assuming here that they also lied about the battery's capacity. What I can tell you, believe it or not, it might sound funny after getting scammed, is that the suspension on this e-bike is one of the best suspensions that I've ever tried on any e-bike. It's really soft on the rear, and it makes the bumps almost non-existent. So you hit a bump, and because of that soft suspension, it's really gentle on your buttocks, if you guys know what I mean. Also, this one has something cool, is that you can only enable either motor, so you can have the front motor and the rear motor off, or vice versa. You can have the front motor on and the front off. Usually that's how it works, but this one gives you the option to use either or, which is really cool. Now we still have fat tires, which are 26 by 4 inches. These are all-terrain tires. I don't think these are puncture proof. The front suspension, even though the rear is great, the front suspension feels like kind of, I don't know, gimmicky. It feels like it's really fragile. I don't know why. The pedals, for some weird reason, they fold. I don't see why, because, well, you know, this e-bike doesn't fold besides the pedals. So, I don't know, and they feel flimsy. Look at that, guys. It already broke. I think I broke it already. Look at that. It won't go back in place. This is crazy. Let me see if I can. Yep, they won't go back in place, so look at that. I have a broken pedal.
Much later.
There we go. We got it fixed. This little piston mechanism was stuck. But you know, I'm never gonna fold that again. Something I did like was that they included this bag, in which on the top you have the option to put your phone on there, and then you have these side pockets, in which on one of them I have my Pocket 3 from DJI. On this side I have nothing. It came with a bottle of water, but I took that off and put this disposable one in there. And overall, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Even the front headlight looks pretty cool. But you can see how things are just falling apart, and they continue to fall apart, guys. Let's see how fast we can actually go with the dual motors. 32. Yep, I told you guys, that's the maximum we can do with my weight. It's only 30, look at that, 33. So, in theory, that's a good speed. You know, you might say, Jay, yes, they lied about the maximum speed and whatever, but that's not a lot, guys, especially for an e-bike that has a dual motor system. Trust me, that is not a lot. Okay, like I said, the Baolugi that I tested, it had a dual motor system with dual batteries, and I could easily, with that e-bike, I could do 36.
We're there.
For the positive side, the brakes are quite responsive. I mean, you can be going 20 miles an hour and come to a complete stop, which I'm gonna do right here. I mean, they're not as good as maybe hydraulic brakes, but we did stop, I don't know, about 15, 17 feet, which is quite typical. So the brakes are not horrible. Again, mechanical brakes are not as good as hydraulic, but they do the job. When you pedal, it does respond quite fast. It's not like other sensors. I believe this one has a torque sensor. I don't think it's a cadence sensor, but it does respond. I mean, as you can tell, I'm pedaling now, and it is responding quite fast, so that's a good sign. Alright guys, so we are on the steepest side off-road area here of this park, and we are about to test and see if these dual motors really do the work. It should do it with ease. So far, it seems like it is. We are doing it at 13 miles an hour. Now it is reducing speed a little bit, and we climbed it at 11 miles an hour, which is quite impressive. That was a very steep one, and we were able to do it with ease. So yes, the dual motors are pretty strong. Maybe not the wattage they're claiming that they are, but they are pretty strong, and we were able to do it. Now for the negative side, we only have 2 bars out of 6, so we are running out of battery. And I think that right after this, we're just going to cut off the video and head back home. So all in all, guys, this e-bike was an absolute lie, and we saw that here from the specs. We saw it on the battery. We saw it on pretty much everything on the max speed. So that's not a good thing. That's not a good way of doing business. Is it absolutely terrible? No, it is not an absolute terrible e-bike. It is quite okay, but again, it has many lies behind it. And even after 7 miles, we are already running out of battery. I just noticed that right underneath the phone holder, there's a little USB port in which you can charge your phone as you're going, which is kind of cool. I just noticed that right now, and there's a little hanger too, so you can put a bag or something on there. As a little plus, the Shimano 7-speed gear system is working great. The derailleur came calibrated here on the rear, and I had to put that little guard on. It didn't come installed with it. And there's a few things I didn't put on here, like the reflectors for the rims or the spokes. And also I didn't put in the rear mirrors because typically they are useless. They vibrate too much and there's barely anything you can see. Well guys, this is going to wrap it up here for the EcoE e-bike, which was a scam. And this is so that you guys are aware that scams can happen everywhere. You're talking about Amazon, a super reputable company that stands behind every product that sells through their site. And this was one of them. Luckily, I got some money back. I'm still super disappointed about the battery performance. It is super crappy. And yes, it was a too good to be true type of deal. And it really was, guys. For the positive note, it comes with a whole bunch of accessories. Even though they're not selling this again, it came with a lock, it came with a bag, it came with a bottle holder. It comes with dual suspension, fenders, front and rear lights as well. And the suspension is not bad. The power is not terrible. We can do it to 32 miles an hour. So yes, these are the good things about it. The bad things is that, well, I already mentioned them, but I guess we learn from mistakes, guys. When the price is too good, be careful, do your research, and watch videos like this so that you don't waste your money. Also, we almost forgot to mention that we do have a locking and adjustable front suspension as well, which again, it feels a little bit, flimsy. I wouldn't trust this suspension. So let me know what you guys think about the EcoE. I can't wait to see the jokes. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys on my next one.